Runoff elections! And here I thought that I was going to be done making NISG election vlogs for this year. But nope. To be honest, I was kind of expecting a runoff election. I wasn't exactly sure who it would be between, but we have a runoff election between Jordan and Kaylee and Kyle and Brendan. Voting is set for next Tuesday and Wednesday, so make sure that you vote again if you voted, and if you didn't vote, you get another chance to vote. You get another chance to do it right. So I actually got a request today via Facebook message from someone who watches my vlogs, which is awkward. I don't really know that it's not real to me still that people like actually care about what I'm saying in these, but that's cool. So I'm kind of going to address what this person wanted me to address, but maybe not in exactly the way they wanted me to address it. But I am going to talk about endorsements briefly. Now, an endorsement, as one of my friends has said, is kind of like support with clout, which means that, you're announcing who you support, but you also have some sort of important role in this university. And we've had a few big endorsements in this election, including one that just came out today after the runoffs were announced. Joel Anderson, former student body president, has endorsed Jordan and Kaylee, and Trevor Monnier, the candidate from the ticket that did not make the runoff election, has endorsed Kyle and Brendan. And those are the two endorsements that I'll just note, because I think they're probably the biggest. And maybe you think that Joel was a great president when he was in office. I think that. Or maybe you weren't around when Joel was in office, but you think that since he did the job, he must know what he's talking about, which is also valid. Maybe because you voted for Trevor and you really stood for the things he believed in, you think that he has a great opinion, which is valid. But the important thing is to not just take an endorsement and jump on that person's bandwagon. The reason why I haven't said who I'm voting for, and you might be able to easily figure out who I'm voting for, or you might not be, but the reason that I haven't gone out and said it is because I've been advocating for students getting informed, deciding what is most important to them at this university, for this university, and voting for the person who's going to do the best with that. So if I tell you who I voted for, then you're not informing yourself. You're just listening to whoever I voted for and doing that. So there's no reason why you shouldn't think that these people's opinions are important and shouldn't factor them in when you're deciding who to vote for. But I think that it's still very important to make sure that your decision is your own. So I encourage students in preparation for runoff election voting to reread the platforms of both Jordan and Kaylee and Kyle and Brendan, and I will link to both of them in the description here, to reread some of the coverage on the NISG Elections blog, which I will link to, and to take in consideration who your friends are voting for, who people that you trust are voting for, who Joel and Trevor are voting for. Don't base all of your voting on someone else's opinion. Base it on your own knowledge and your own facts. Another thing that the person who contacted me wanted me to address was a little bit of the negativity towards Jordan and Kaylee that Trevor had in his endorsement. I think it is important to note that this campaign has had a very high level of civility and honesty from all of the candidates, and I've been really impressed, and I really hope that that continues through this runoff week. But I don't blame Trevor, because I know that there are a lot of emotions in this too, and he's just worked very hard for something and has been very disappointed, and I don't blame him. It's understandable that emotions are high and people are tired of campaigning and tired of not getting sleep and not getting homework done, But I have every confidence that all 4 remaining candidates will keep a very high level of integrity and focus on building themselves up and not on tearing each other down. And I really look forward to this last week of campaigning, and I hope that everyone votes Tuesday and Wednesday on my universe.